Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We're also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we talk about Rosen Rye. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Jeff Andreezy, Katie Joyce, and Tim Swyatt.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, guys.
What's happening, everyone?
Hey, everyone.
Hey-oh, so yeah, we're going to be talking today about Rosen Rye, and we'll find out if people are excited about that. They don't care. We'll find out. We'll get to that after the break. For right now, though, McNew said there's something she wanted to talk about. What is that, McNew?
Yeah, so I think this is actually a really good panel to ask this question to. So there's a concert coming to Indy that I'm very excited about, and people don't think I would be into this because I'm always like, I like Co Wetzel and Taylor Swift. And so I wanted to know who's a band or artist you guys would like that people wouldn't know, because Steve are like Rolling Stones, like Tim is like Rush or whatever. So who
okay. The people don't know.
Why did you buy concert tickets to that? We didn't expect that.
Okay. All right, I got one. No.
I got one too.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tim. We'll let you go first.
Mine one would be, actually, I have one that came to mind for myself, but one that I really, really enjoyed went with the General to see Cyndi Lauper.
Oh.
I bet she does.
Cyndi Lauper sang the She Bop album. It was like the 25th or 30th anniversary of the She Bop album. That woman played it front to back, and she can sing. I had an absolute blast. Blast at that concert. That's an odd one that I would say I've been to that people wouldn't necessarily think.
Yeah. The odd one that I like that not a lot of people like or follow is J. Roddy Walston in the business. Great musician. He came in and played a concert. I loved every single song. There was no like, oh man, this is kind of one you can take off. No, man, I was on my feet. I saw him at a little place here called Off Broadway here in St. Louis, and just a little club, hipsters. It was all young people, hipsters. There's only like 5 chairs in the whole place. The warden and I grabbed those right away because the kids just stand up. They get and at the bar they serve you the tall boy cans of Pabst Blue Ribbon, and they put it in a paper bag. And these stupid ass hipsters probably paying $15 for those beers in a bag, and they think they look so cool. And I'm like, seriously? Yeah. But I tell you what, the music's great though. J. Roddy, check him out. Yeah, he's good. Listen to the song Heavy Bells. Just listen to that song, one song, Heavy Bells. And if you don't like that one, don't ever listen to anything else of his. But if you like that one,
this
listen
is so
to
funny because it seems like a place that would give Steve old man anger, where he's like, there's only 5 chairs and they're drinking $15 PBR. It feels like this would piss you off, but you were loving it.
I loved it. Yeah.
You put me on to that group or that band here a year or so ago, and I've done some YouTubing and good stuff.
They're great, right? Yeah, they're way underrated. So, yeah. All right. Jeff, how about you, man?
We do a lot of concerts, and once in a while we'll come up with something that's a little a little different, and my sister-in-law and brother will say, I don't know. We went to see Ben Folds with the Minnesota Orchestra, and it was so much fun. They still talk about it. They didn't know what to expect,
right?
And he, great music, and I know quite a bit of it, but the way they got the orchestra involved, it was just a hoot. That's probably something that most people wouldn't think. I'm usually doing 80s rock, getting all these 70-year-olds, and we're doing meet and greets and stuff like that. But Ben Folds was a blast.
Hell of a live performer.
Yeah.
The albums don't do him justice.
Yeah. Right.
Very talented.
Right. Well, what do you think, Katie?
I have a kind of a wide, eclectic view of music anyway. I don't think anyone is surprised at all when I go to country concerts. That I don't think anyone would be truly surprised to know that like my dream concert to go to would be Blink-182. I see Earth, Wind and Fire and like Doobie Brothers like with my parents, but I think the one that might surprise people is Steel Panther. Oh. And I think just because they are so ridiculous. But John had gone to a concert with my brother of theirs and had like just an absolute blast. And so having a blast at a concert isn't always there. So the entertainment piece of it, just because of the humorous nature of their music.
Okay. That's good.
Good one.
Tim, you went or not? I can't remember.
I didn't necessarily understand the assignment, but I do have another option if you'd like me to throw that out there.
Oh, yeah. You said Cyndi Lauper. That's right.
I did, yeah. Frank Turner and the Sleeping Souls.
Okay. I don't know them.
So he's a punk rock band from the UK. Frank Turner's been touring. I was at the 2,888th show that he's done over the last 10, 12 years. And if you're looking for an album to just hear him in the raw, go take a listen to Live in Newcastle, where he actually takes you through the stories of his songs and kind of like a storyteller's type thing. Frank Turner is spectacular. If you're a traveler, this is right up your alley.
All right. Since Tim got to do two, I want to do two. Trombone Shorty. He combines jazz and rock and roll, and it's great showman too. Great showman. Guy puts on a great show. The guy knows what he's doing, so he controls the audience. It's cool. Yeah. Go ahead, McNew. You asked the question. What do you got?
Yeah, so like I think people are like, I'm a Swiftie, and then I listen to like
Swiftie,
dirtbag country. But fucking Billy Joel is coming to Indianapolis, and I fucking love Billy Joel. I'm like, I have Vienna and Piano Man on like so many different playlists. I'm like, and tickets are $40. I'm like, I'm gonna go fucking see Billy Joel, and
do it.
Be like,
$40 is the deal. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do it.
What are you doing? And I'm like, who doesn't love Billy Joel?
He's got a big catalog, so yeah, a lot of good songs. A lot of good songs.
I saw him at Miller Park. I won tickets through Sirius XM radio. Because they have those sweepstakes every now and then. They'll say, put your name in an email to see if you get in for these tickets. I won tickets. So the general, I went to see him at Miller Park. This is probably 2019. And I was just floored. He is such a show person. Band is great.
It's Billy Joel and Sting. Like, I don't really care about Sting as much.
No, you'll be surprised. It's good. Because Sting does it. I saw Sting and Peter Gabriel together, which was like a dream concert for me. Those two gentlemen have written my song of my life. So seeing both those two together, how they play each other's songs, they play back and forth with each other, which is it. So cool. Sting will play something with Billy Joel will play a Sting song, and they'll kind of balance back and forth throughout the night, which is really cool.
Okay, that's going to be super fun. So I'm all in, but I'm just like, I'm going to go to a fucking Billy Joel concert, and people are going to be like, what is she doing? But,
not at all. You'll have a blast.
Interesting. So those two guys together go for $40 tickets?
No, so
$40?
I think it's at Gamebridge Fieldhouse where the Pacers play. And yeah, you can get like really super cheap tickets, and they're not even bad seats. There's like not a bad seat in Gamebridge, honestly. So it's $39.80 something. So I'm like $40. It's really going to be a $70 ticket after fees. But why would you not go? Like,
right?
No, that's a good call.
True. All right. On that note, it's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start this time with Tim Swyatt.
I would open up my bottle of Rosen Rye from Stolen Wolf, but I'm keeping that for history purposes. So I'm going to go with a Buzzard's Roost, barrel strength, Rye whiskey. Slide on the set.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh.
it's white cork pop too. So yeah. All right. Next up is Katie.
I have Wood Hat Orange.
Okay.
Hmm.
Solid. That's really good. Really good. That's going to be tough to beat. We'll see what happens. Jeff, you're next.
I have some Mammoth Northern Rye.
Oh, nice. Wow, that was very good, but not as good as Katie's. Not as good as Katie's. Mammoth, way underrated. That's one of the great distillers
You're
out there.
stealing my thunder for the show, Steve.
Way underrated.
Yes.
Yeah. They do some cool stuff. I've got Michter's Toasted Bourbon. Let's see what we got here. Hardly anything going on there. Sad, actually. McNew, you're last but not least. See what you got.
I know it's not going to do anything because I've loved it so much. It's the Old Pepper All-Star Pick from the Barrel Shop.
Okay, bassy. It held some bass back for you, but that was it. So Katie wins. So cheers to Katie.
Cheers, Katie.
Ding.
Cheers, Katie.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about Rosen Rye. Are you guys excited about that? We'll talk about it in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show. Break. What, small talk, Darren? You got something?
Yeah.
That sounds like it's going to be horrible.
I still haven't thought of anything.
And you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about how excited we are for Rosen Rye.
Yes, we are. So, Rosen Rye is an interesting one because it is a grain that was created or utilized specifically to make whiskey. When the whiskey industry had a big downturn, farmers quit growing it because why would they grow it if they can't sell it to distilleries? So it basically goes extinct, and now in the last couple of years it's been brought back. Initially, you first hear about it, at least I did, coming back from Stolen Wolf, Dick Stoll, of course, as he's going, he's like, where do we get our Rosen Rye? And they find out they don't have any. They got to go to the University of Pennsylvania. And so they got that going on. Then you got it in Michigan. You've got it being grown in Michigan now as well. It is, so you get the Mammoth team, and Ari Sussman is out involved in this and all kinds of stuff. So it's quite interesting. There are distilleries that are laying down Rosen Rye products, including Neely Family Distillery. So, it's a grain that you can utilize, and it can be bought if you know the right people where to buy it. I put Royce in touch with the right person. He bought some Rosen Rye. He's got some laid down. But they're kind of behind. The one that's out in front is actually you can get some Rosen Rye products from Stolen Wolf. They're kind of the first to market, which is cool. But I think it's going to be a big trend coming up, because it is really great whiskey that comes from that grain. That it makes sense. Now you see why it was used specifically for making whiskey. It makes a very special rye whiskey. So the question is, as these begin to mature, and now we'll start seeing more and more of these coming out, not just Stolen Wolf, but plenty of others will have Rosen Rye products out. I understand that some has been laid down on a 3-chamber from Iron City. First people to lay the Rosen Rye down on 3-chamber since Prohibition, which is pretty good. But again, that just got laid down in the last couple months. You're talking about a couple of years at a minimum. Who knows on the upper end what that could be? I don't know what their plans are. So, but I think there'll be this trend that'll be coming up. We're kind of ahead of the game here. We're talking about it before it's a trend, but I think it is going to be a trend. And are you guys excited about this? Or you're like, who cares? It's just another grain.
No, I'm very excited. I think it's a thing that you can nerd out on, which obviously I always love. But I think the reviews of kind of what you said, Steve, of there's a reason that this was used in the past as a whiskey rye. And a lot of the story that I was reading of them bringing this back reminded me of like what Gary has done with Wood Hat, where they sourced the original seed from USDA. I think I saw in there that they only received 24 seeds to start this. And then spent the 4 years replanting it and growing it, which is incredible all on its own. The dedication put in just to that.
Yeah.
And so it reminds me so much of what Gary has done with different corns. And so I'm really excited of knowing that history and what they've done with it and all the years that have already gone in to
and subject matter experts too. Yes. I mean, I can't be like, hey, I was reading about this Rosen Rye. If it was still in the kind of extinct phase, I couldn't go to the USDA and say, hey, I want to grow some of this. I want to get this going. They'd be like, no, we got X amount of seeds. You're not getting anybody. You have to be licensed and all this kind of, it's very high tech. You got to make sure that if you're going to take some of those seeds, they better grow, because they're going to need that to replenish the seed bank. So, so. Very cool.
And I think the one from Stolen Wolf, I think, is only aged about 2 years, which also makes sense. They're wanting to get some product out. And so with the amount of years that have been put into it. But from what I read, it sounds like even at that, people already mentioned about how great it was, at least as a cocktail whiskey, which for that age range, I think is fair. But I think it's a sign of just how good this is going to be when some other people get their hands on it and it can age a little longer and then see what else they can do with it. I'm very excited.
Yeah, you can taste the new make and know that it's different. It's one of those that I got to get some of that right as it happened, and very exciting for sure.
So I need to defer to Tim, because I think he's going to talk about another brand. So I was on the flagship thing, so I've been interested since that evening, and now doing a little reading that it's more places. I'm definitely going to be in the market, and I want to find this. I want to try it, and I want to be able to follow along as it's 2-year-old, 3-year-old, whatever we can get. But I'm going to defer the brand name to Tim, because I think that's where he's heading.
Go ahead, Tim.
You hit it, Jeff. Yeah. So we did. We had Mammoth Distilling is the one who's brought it back on Manitoba Island up in the Upper Peninsula. It's last time it was grown there was 100 years ago. So they now cultivated it back. We did it behind the scenes of it. An additional one was just specifically on Mammoth, where Phil actually showed us the barrels aging. So they already got whiskey down, already barrels aging of the Rosen Rye on top of that. So the way they've cultivated with 2-row, and now they've worked it out where they've been able to get that stuff going. And they're growing the Rosen Rye across different farms and everything like that. But Mammoth is the only one who's been able to bring it back with that project Steve you mentioned with Ari and everybody like that. Add back on Manitou Island, in South Manitou Island, up in the Upper Peninsula of Northern Michigan.
Right.
And I will say, what we found in any of the rye whiskeys that we've had on the flagship, the ones from Northern Hemisphere climate. So everybody talks about, Alberta rye, Canadian rye. There's a reason why that rye is so damn good for distilling. Looking forward to seeing what this does here with the Rosen Rye project, because Minnesota, Northern Michigan rye whiskeys hit completely different than anything else on the market.
Yeah, for sure. One of the interesting facts too, when you're talking about Rosen Rye, and a lot of people, if you've done some research on it, you think it's associated with Pennsylvania. It certainly is, but the original Rosen Rye, where it was discovered and then cultivated, and then it makes its way to Pennsylvania, where they utilize it almost exclusively for their rye. Again, pre-prohibition, but it comes from Michigan. Michigan is where that rye was originally grown. So pretty cool stuff. So, yeah, they're doing some good things with Mammoth and Ari. He's got his hands in a lot of different distilleries. So, I'm sure he's got several places that are laying down some whiskey with that too, besides just Mammoth. So it's cool.
And I love Mammoth's products across the board too. And the more we're talking, yes, I'm building up some excitement over here. You can see it on my face.
He can hardly contain himself. So yeah.
Yes, this is audio only. Sorry.
Yeah.
So do you think it's going to have a moment? So like American Single Malt had a moment where, and it finally just got to be a thing and like legally, but like, do you think this is going to be like Rosen Rye is it? Because like American Single Malt had its year, it had its time where everybody was excited about it. I think Rosen Rye, it's about time for people to talk about it like that.
Yeah, I do. I think that Rosen Rye will become a big thing. It'll take, for the masses to start getting the word out about it. It'll take, and who knows, it could be Heaven Hill, it could be Beam, it could be Buffalo Trace. One of them's going to get their hands on some Rosen Rye and they're going to grow it. And at some point they'll come out with it and then everyone will know about it. But, we're ahead of that curve though. So
we're ahead of the game. And I like, we're always ahead of the game. I think
this is true. This is true. We don't get credit for that, but yeah.
Yes. Always have it.
I'd even throw the category into just rye whiskey in and of itself. Everybody's aware of rye whiskey. It's out there. The mixologists love rye whiskey more than anything. Some consumers like it, but usually it's not. Everybody will gravitate to bourbon. Does this now establish the category, to your point, McNew? Like how American Single Malt finally gets the TTB. Now, rye whiskey already has its own TTB stuff, but is this finally the catalyst with the history buffs that are out there that drives the rye whiskey category into the limelight more than other categories? Again, how much more shelf space is there?
Right.
If you got a rye whiskey, you got a bourbon. So the bourbon's there probably 3-4 years old. Rye whiskey's probably 2-3 years old. Now you're seeing a lot of old rye whiskeys out there. Does this now bring some of that category back and into the limelight of more mass consumers? The real question.
Yeah. I'm going to say yes, because again, I'm going back to the taste and as people get, the opportunity to try this stuff, I think that they are going to love it. And that's going to cause it to grow. And what I love about this trend, this fact that this can become a thing is it's just drinking whiskey. It's not this exciting new finish. It's not put it in a different barrel.
Pure whiskey on its own.
It's whiskey.
Great point.
So many of our things, our trends today in whiskey are what are people doing to finish it or change it or alter it or do something. And this is about being just pure, good drinking whiskey. And I love it. So, I look forward to more places utilizing it. Hats off to Dick Stoll. It's hard to believe that he passed away in 2020. Those pictures of him distilling, it's so cool.
Because he didn't get to try the final product, right, of what they released. No. So,
well, he got to try the new make stuff,
right.
But he didn't get to try the aged or anything like that. But
that's sad.
But it is sad, but also cool that. That's been part of his legacy. As this trend grows, I mean, Rosen Rye's been around, really forever, but it had gone away. And the guy who ultimately is the driver to bringing that back is going to be Dick Stoll. And, more people will learn about him. Unfortunately, after he's gone, but at least people will know about him. And they should. A lot of people don't know who Dick Stoll is. No. And they should. They should. He's
what a legacy to leave.
Yeah.
So
and
Steve,
we owe
do you
that
know
to
the
Eric.
history of the Rosen Rye? I mean, I thought I was reading that it had essentially been hybridized down to something that it wasn't the same anymore, obviously,
Right.
and basically went away.
Right.
Yeah,
It was away for about 50 years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I don't know about 50, but it's clearly
A while, decades long.
yeah, 30 plus. I don't know about 50, but 30 plus for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's good to see it, coming back, and we'll see. I think we as consumers benefit from this, which is cool.
Can I ask you a question? You don't really have to answer it, but
Okay.
who
Ooh.
in our distillers that we know and love would you like to see get their hands on this?
Well, I was excited about Royce Neely getting it, and he's going to be running it through his 3-chamber too. So he's
I was just going to say, if he's running through his 3-chamber,
it'll
look
be
out. That'll be something.
So that'll be coming this summer. He's going to get in spring. He'll get his still done, and then in the summer, and there could be delays. But sometime this year, I think he'll be laying down barrels of 3-chamber Rosen Rye, which I'm excited about that, because there's a difference between regular distilled, column distilled, pot distilled, whatever, and 3-chamber. There's this great difference, and I can't wait to see what Rosen Rye tastes like out of that. And that's the way they truly would have made it back, in the days. People for their rye whiskey were utilizing the 3-chamber. So, if I could have someone else get it that's not currently using it, Adam Stump. I mean, he makes a great Prohibition rye. I'd love to see what he could do with that. So, we need to push him to get on that. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah. Well, anybody else? Any questions? All right. We're going to wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Jeff, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me patiently waiting for some Rosen Rye whiskey to be on the shelf. But in the meantime, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and the Cigar Dojo, Jeff Andreezy, 2 I's and 2 Z's.
All right. Katie, how about you?
You can find me over on Instagram at Katie Proof.
Tim?
You can find me on Instagram at SlyGuy2112 and on YouTube at Our Flagship Whiskey.
McNew?
I'm on Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. Check that one out. Everything that we do is out there. Also, come by and see us, the ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. We're online, abvbarrelshop.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. Audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
See you, everyone.
Bye.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you're in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.